Alright, so I have embarked on cleaning and prepping this white one to be outstanding member of Machine Society. Whoever decided to paint machines white should probably be punched, because this took me a good half of a day to make white again, and the fact that you can see the bottom of the whole bottom of the tank there. So currently we are working through this one. I learned that if you accidentally make this thing go up past its limit switch, it will instantly kill the power, instantly. And then when you go to reboot it, it won't reboot. So you have to pop the back cover off and manually, with a crescent wrench, back the ball screw off to shift the turret back down, and then it'll reboot. So don't do that. Everything appears to be functioning. I got it level. For the most part, I backed the assembly out and I put my level on both of the big tubes there, so we're at least level in the Z direction. I'm probably going to stick a level across the spindle to get it somewhat in the X there. The hydraulic pump on this is kind of loud, and so, as is tradition with any older CNC machine, you got some cleaning to do. So there's that lovely caked mess. The poor fan is pretty gross, and then underneath is pretty gross. So I'm going to clean all that, and hopefully the motor will be a little bit quieter for the most part. It should, but this is the machine shop goo that just magically occurs. So that's some pretty thick crap in there. Anyway, we're gonna fix that. The main hydraulic lines on this I am not confident in. They are just this rubber material, so I don't know. Usually you would think it'd be like a braided line and not with a goofy connection like that goes into the main hydraulic block here. So we're gonna work on this for the most part. Now programming wise for these, I picked up a Windows XP computer from a gent on eBay, whopping $89 for that lovely specimen there. It does have the SD card reader. It's kind of cool. I'm waiting on a monitor and a keyboard for it, which should be here tomorrow. And then we can finally dive into some of the programming the gentleman had for it. I rerouted the main power coming in, and then I broke the frickin' on lever there. So note that when you go to close these, you best be sure that it's in the off position, or else you will break that lever. Anyway, this one has been the focus because it will have the bar feeder up on it and going, and it was the only one I saw functioning at the time of me purchasing them in the pair. The blue one we will dive into at a later date. However, this probably multiple video series will be based on this one. Now, for those who are new. This is a 1983 Citizen Syncom F12 machine, and it's got this lovely screaming 1980s control panel. And even though it does look slightly clunky, it is pretty somewhat user-friendly. My only issue with it, and I'm sure I'll take you along with me, is to learn how to talk to it here. And I've been looking at programs like DNC4U. So I have this lovely connector here. This, I think, is a power outlet for a tape reader. I think. I'm not sure. Anyway, we have this lovely connector to dive into. And I have some files on how to talk to them. And that is the main reason I bought that computer there. I'm probably going to put a desk under the window there so I have a view. And then both of these will be hardwired into the computer for me to transfer back and forth and program and whatnot. That is the current method to the madness here. So let me clean that poor hydraulic fan and motor assembly here, and I'll bring you back. Alright, well, it's a week later, and I got the hydraulic motor back together again. Cleaned all the schmutz out of the cover and gave her a little sprucing, so it looks nice. I will replace all the fluids in this thing eventually. That's where that is. Things have, I don't know if you'd say escalated, but I'm trying to get this bar feeder prepped to rig up into the machine. And so we painted another patch of floor with our sealer. I'm trying to figure out all the feet situations for the bar feeder and the stand. I drained out the tank, and it had water and a bunch of just sludge in it, so that needs to get changed out. But our tank is nice and squeaky clean. Clean tanks. So that will need to get filled. These don't specify a particular oil that goes in them. It just says to have a lower viscosity than 32, I think. If I'm wrong, oops. I'm fairly certain he was just running hydraulic oil in it, so luckily Bi-Mart has it on sale for $27.99 a gallon, or for a 5-gallon bucket. So we're just going to buy that, which will be plenty suitable for what this thing does. So we got to drain that out and clean it today. The pump cleaned. These hoses are probably needing to be replaced eventually here. They're kind of baked into their shape from the years anyway. And so we are trying to figure out the feet situation here with the ginormous bar feeder. So I got the other stand out of the way here, and I had to cut one of the feet off because it was severely bent. I think it was this guy. So we had to cut that off, and then this rubber pad on 99% of them is gone. So I'm trying to devise a way to remake that, and I'm probably just going to use some Delrin, which is a hard black plastic, and then get some chunks of rubber and cut them into a circle and put it underneath it, or just glue it to the bottom. And we'll probably just go by that because they want pretty good money for these little feet, and we're just not going to do that. We're stubborn. We're just going to make our own. This one has the groove there broken on it, And now I could face this off, so I could cut that off and then drill and tap and then make a spud that could get threaded in there and or press fit in there. So this would be a foot again. So I'm not sure about that one. We could probably definitely fix it. However, I'll probably eventually buy one to replace this one. Now I do have a parts one outside. However, it's slightly different in the way it is fixated to the foot. Instead of a snap ring, it has a threaded bolt and then a snap ring. So that I'm not sure, but we're still jury's still out on that one. I'm probably going to try and get it color matched blue, because there is some scratching on it once it is in its place. I don't mind blue. Blue's okay in my book. We got rid of the stupid bolt that was sticking out of the motor. It was just there, so you could smack your shin on it for some reason. Kind of tidied a little bit. I used an oil eater, which I liked a little bit more than the super clean. Wasn't as harsh smelling. So clean that up. Still kind of in concrete disaster mode. Other than that, nothing else has really happened in terms of the machine itself. I did pick up this communication cable from Amazon. It's a thing, I guess. I don't know if it works or not. I was able to view programs on the Windows XP. However, the power supply died. So we're waiting on a new power supply. It was making some hideous sounds last time it was up and running, and once I shut it down, I came outside to boot it up again, and it didn't come back to life. So of course it's not the seller's fault. He just repurposes these, and so instead of going back and forth with him, I'm just going to replace that power supply and call it a day. The ultrasonic is working hard on all these machine feet pieces, so we're gonna make like a Delrin plug that goes into this foot, and then this I might have to grind it, and then the E-clip or C-clip clips into that, and then we'll just glue some rubber or something on there. So we have been we've been working slowly. I'm a little bummed that the computer died, because I was hoping I could try to talk to the machines and at least try to get something out of them. I do have a potential part I can run. However, the timing is kind of crappy because I don't know enough about the machines yet. I don't have the tooling for it, which is going to be the next biggest hurdle after paying off the electrician and then getting this bar feeder hooked up to it. It's going to be an endeavor. However, we will work through it. The good news is that this whole bar is now balanced on one of my old cabinets, so that is kind of the midpoint to where if I rigged up a hoist, that is where I would hook it to, and it would just lift right up. So there are positive things, I guess, happening. Now we will go through these bar feeders eventually. I do have the manuals for them. They are a pretty reliable bar feeder, according to the previous owner. They have some settings and things, of course, and according to the maintenance tag, it was last maintained in October of '97. So I was a whopping 7 years old when this was maintained last, and now I am 34. So it's currently maintained. So I might get some maintenance stickers and just fill them out just for S&Gs here. Anyway, that is what has been going on so far in the little garage shop. I did play a little bit with the blue machine, and it cannot close its collet. So it gives the signal to open and close the collet just fine, and hydraulic fluid comes out of the closing side but not the open side. I might have gotten those reversed. Anyway, one of them doesn't work, and I've traced it to the very bottom hydraulic valve is what controls the open and close of the collet. And this system doesn't have a filter in any way except for a little screen where you go to open it. So the theory is that after all the years of working, all the crap that's been in the block here has slowly gone down into that bottom valve. So we're going to have to pop that open and clean it. I did get a spare set of valves with the purchase of the machines. I already tried throwing a different connector on there and it still didn't work, so that's probably the valve being clogged itself. The tanks definitely need to get cleaned. Everything basically needs to get cleaned on this thing. I did go into the diagnostics. There's the word. Diagnostic mode on these. Ooh. Careful. So, of course, I had to locate what to do, which is half the battle. But luckily, we have a good amount of books for this thing. So, let me see if I can find it for you. And then, of course, it was throwing an alarm that didn't exist, but I guess we figured it out here. So, in the diagnostic mode, once it's powered on, you hit display over until you're in the diagnosis right here. And then you say set for input, and then or 004. And once you set 004, it'll bring up the 1 through 7 on your screen. Okay? And so you have the 1 through 7 here. So that'll still be all zeros. And when you're in that mode, if you actuate the opening and closing of the chuck, or of the collet nose, like numbers 5 and 6 should go from a 0 to a 1, and that means that it's getting signal input from these two switches, which it is. So it's not an electrical problem, it's a hydraulic problem. At least as of this video it is. And if you manually push the cylinder back and then actuate it, it will move, but it won't retract. So that is part of that. So we're learning here and there. Oh, this is a troubleshooting book. Well, no wonder it's so handy. This one is kind of the pet project. We will get it up and going. Don't worry. She's mainly supposed to be a parts machine, but I figured if I can get both of these running and making me money, you might as well. So we are definitely not going to put that fluid back into that nice clean tank. That'll be capped off and labeled and disposed of in a proper way somewhere down the road. But that is what I've been doing besides working stupid hours. The electrician is almost halfway paid off, and that's nice. I did order tooling for the parts I could potentially run on this machine. It's like a small Delrin bolt with a standard screwdriver slit cut into it, so I bought a live tooling post for this. I have no idea if this works or not. I know this upper turret, the shaft is bent due to an impact that was not of me, so we need to fix that if we're going to use the upper turret. The lower turret works, however, I have not actually activated the drive motors for the encoder. So that is another mystery we must solve. Lots of things. If this part was probably like in the midsummer, right now it's like March, then I could probably run it. However, I have learned that in this industry, turnaround time is a big selling point, and then pretty much they will nickel and dime you and cent you per part because you're making so many parts. So these machines are good for like 1,000+ part runs. So if you're making 10,000 pieces of one part and your quote is like 2 cents more than the other guy, they're gonna go with the other guy. So it's a really tight market. And right now, with this part, I am directly competing with China. So we're gonna see how that goes. Now they're gonna order 500 pieces from China, and potentially I could get the 4,500 more if I can get this thing to work. And if I get it to work, then that stupid little part would pay for this entire endeavor, and we would be breaking even, which would be awesome, actually. That was my number one pet peeve of getting a machine, is having a stupid monthly payment on it. I just don't like it. I don't have a car payment anymore. I just don't want a machine payment. So enough of my rambling. I'm going to clean out some fans, and I know that fan in there needs to get cleaned really bad too. And then figure out what to do with this bar feeder feet situation. So floor, bar feeder there, rest of the bar feeder like so, winch going up into the ceiling, pick the bar feeder up, potentially park the truck inside the garage. So thank you all for watching. Please let me know if you have any insight on any Fanuc 3T things. A lot of people are pretty much retired from these machines, like the gentleman I purchased them from. But if anybody has any clues or tips, welcome to put them in the comments below. Anyway, thank you all for watching and listening to me ramble. We'll see you next time. Alright, we have figured out the bar feeder feet situation. So currently this is what the feet look like, and this just fits up into that, and then that's your foot. So we don't want that. So what we have done here is, I think this is 2.5-inch Delrin, and we have turned it into a lovely puck with a counter bore on one side. So our foot goes over that, and we have about 100 thou of the Delrin sticking out. Okay, and then we got a nice cushioned fiber washer from good old McMaster, and that sits in there like so. Okay, and then of course, I don't think I can do this one-handed, but aha! We got a skinny washer from the Bezos, and then the original C-clip here. So that clips in there. And then furniture pad. This is, what is this? 2.5 inch non-slip, really nice thick felt furniture pad. Stick it on the bottom there. And there we go. Rinse and repeat 8 more times. So that gives us a nice durable cushion. It cushions the bar feeder from the floor, which is what I was worried about, just doing a straight Delrin foot. And it is relatively easy on the pocketbook. Of course, McMaster is somewhat inexpensive until you pay for shipping, so it's best to do a pretty good order before you order it. Anyway, that is the solution I came up with. Just some pretty heavy duty felt furniture sticky pad things, and then our Delrin foot there. So worked out pretty good. I just gotta do that a few more times. I did get another cable, so I had that crappy Amazon cable, and then the software I was using, DNC4U, recommended a different USB converter cable, so I got that. That didn't work, and I ended up going with Blue Max or Blue Max 49ers, and their cable worked, and it was about 35 bucks shipped to my door, and it was specifically made for Fanuc 3T communication, and it worked great. So would recommend their cables. Very nice. Comes with the instructions and everything you need. And I'm running a Windows 10 laptop, and then DNC4U is a free 60-day trial. I haven't gotten the actual cost yet. I haven't gone through my 60 days yet, but I mean, it works great. I would definitely buy it whenever I get the price here, and I'll let you guys know. But that is the little snippet at the end of the video. Anyway, thanks for watching me ramble, and we'll see you next time.